Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan from weatherwatch.co.nz with a special Sunday update as the remnants of Dovi move into Auckland and other parts of the North Island across today. Let's kick off with the current situation. This is when we recorded this at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. So the low itself coming in towards northern Taranaki, southern parts of Waikato. Up in Auckland, very strong winds, over 150 kilometres an hour recorded now at a couple of locations. So the windy nor'westers are going to turn windy westerly, and that's going to get even stronger by the time we come in towards lunchtime and the very early part of the afternoon. Then it should start to ease off as we go through the end of the day. But in Auckland, it's a very interesting situation because we do expect damaging gusts, power cuts here and there, as well as branches start to break. And when you're talking about 160k winds, hurricane force, that does break branches and that causes power cuts. So we do expect some issues in Auckland as the system comes on through. This map shows you where the worst of the winds are in the green. So they come in through Cook Strait and they're sort of circling around the outer edges of the North Island. But the Auckland area, parts of Northland, Waikato and also Coromandel Peninsula are really in that westerly wind tunnel as the system makes landfall today. That's where the worst of those winds are likely to be in the north. And meanwhile in the south, Cook Strait pretty busy with the wind, and then it gradually slides up that eastern side as a southerly comes through as we go through today. So this is the situation at 9 o'clock. That's the remnant, the centre of the remnants of Dovi, just off the coastline of Taranaki, Waitomo area. The big strong west to northwest winds moving into Auckland. By 11 o'clock in the morning, it turns more westerly in Auckland and the winds get stronger as we come in towards lunchtime. Gusts 130 to 150 k's an hour, maybe even stronger than that. That's pretty intense, and that, like I say, can lead to more power outages as branches start to break. On the map here, the orange shading you're seeing here, coming in from that southerly and turning around as the westerly, that is indicating wind that is sustained at over 100 kilometres an hour. So very strong wind, and then of course it gusts even higher once it interacts with the land. But you might notice it's quite calm through central areas. So as that low comes in and makes landfall after 11 o'clock this morning, there's another area of low pressure off the east coast. That is actually stealing a lot of the energy and is going to become the new centre by the end of today. So this system's falling apart, but as it does that, there's this big blast of wind, and that's the reason why Auckland has got this focus on today, because these damaging winds will be coming through. But around about 1 o'clock this afternoon, we do hope that that's around about the peak, if not a little earlier. And then after that, it should slowly start to ease. The winds out here aren't quite as intense, but still a very strong southerly coming through Taranaki, Whanganui, Wellington, and then up Wairarapa, coastal Hawke's Bay, Mahia Peninsula as the day goes on. In fact, as we move through a bit later on to the 3 o'clock hour, you can see those strong winds with the winds averaging 90, 100 k's an hour, sliding up along coastal areas. Not very windy once you get further inland though, quite sheltered, but very windy in those coastal zones as the wind gets split apart by the lower part of the North Island. Still very windy in Auckland, but hopefully starting to ease around about then. And certainly by this evening, 6 o'clock, the worst weather on the western side is easing, and you've got a temperature drop. That refreshing, cooler southerly, which by the way, is bringing in some snow to the top of the South Island at the moment. Big southerly coming through, goes everywhere. North Islanders get a better sleep tonight, but it will still be pretty windy in these eastern areas. Might be a bit blustery out there on the Mahia Peninsula. So just to recap, as we recorded this is where the centre of Dovi was lying, just coming in towards northern Taranaki, Waitomo area. Very windy westerlies just starting to really ramp up in the Auckland area now, and southeasterlies elsewhere. By the middle of the day, that's when the winds peak in Auckland. This area here in the pink and purple is up around 100 to 150 kilometres an hour, hurricane force along this zone here, so very windy. Note how calm it is though in the middle portion. And sorry to not really talk so much about you in the South Island, but this event really isn't in your area. And then we get to the end of the day, 3 o'clock, still pretty blustery in Auckland and some parts of Waikato and the North Island there, but that's the old centre. Here's the new centre forming out on that east coast, and big strong gale force southeasterlies blowing in there for you. Now, there has been some rain in the South Island. As Weather Watch said the other day, it might just go a little further south. That was possible, and that is certainly happening. Christchurch has had a lot of rain, and now we're seeing some more coming into these northern areas. Sorry, I'm in front of the key, I just realised, but we're talking about rainfall of 40 to 70 millimetres in these areas here in the pink, purple colouring. But the very top of the country, just some drizzle and very, very light showers, and the very south of the country, it's a similar kind of story. So that is the setup, the remnants of what was once severe tropical cyclone Dovi, now falling apart across the North Island with severe weather risks right through until tonight. That's all from me. Thanks for joining us for our special update. We'll be back again on Monday.